Vauxhall has delivered us a smarter, lighter, cleverer and more efficient Astra in 7th generation guise, so don't be deceived. Much has changed here. Once merely an ordinary family hatch, this model line is now making some extraordinary claims for your attention if you're in the market for a car of this kind.
Reducing this 7th generation Astra model's weight by up to 200 kilograms has had a significant effect on the way the car drives. It now soaks up bumps better and turns in the bends more easily, aided by a stiffer chassis and torque vectoring that helps with cornering traction. As before, this Vauxhall does without the kind of independent rear suspension system that you'd find on a rival Ford Focus, instead favouring a neat Watts linkage system that claims to reduce sideways motion between the axle and the body of the car as you go through the corners. Under the bonnet, those in search of petrol power have an up-to-the-minute range of options. We'd suggest that you bypass the most affordable 100 PS 1.4 litre engine in favour of the lighter, more responsive and much more efficient 105 PS 1 litre Ecotec turbo 3-cylinder unit. If you need more power, there are a couple of 1.4 litre turbo power plants offering 125 or 150 PS, plus a top 200 PS 1.6 litre turbo option. Diesel drivers get Vauxhall's refined 1.6 litre CDTI Whisper diesel unit with the choice of 3 power outputs, 110, 136 or 160 PS. The 110 PS EcoFlex variant delivers class-leading efficiency figures, 91.2 miles per gallon on the combined cycle and 82 grams per kilometre of CO2. Give this 7th generation Astra a little more than a cursory glance, and your first impression may well be that, visually at least, it isn't very much changed from what went before. Look more closely, though, and a different piece of styling presents itself, leaner, lighter and more agile in appearance, just as was intended. We'll start at the front, where this prominent Griffin badge marks the centre point of a chrome grille that flows seamlessly into the lights. Move to the side and you start to get a real feel for what the designers have tried to do with this car. For a start, unusually for a new generation design, it's slightly smaller than the old Mark VI model, in both this 5-door hatch guise and in the Sports Tourer Estate form, the other main 7th generation body style on offer. A far-reaching efficiency programme has delivered us a shape that sees this hatch version 5 centimetres shorter and 2.5 centimetres lower than its predecessor, with shorter front and rear overhangs and the option of smaller wheels. So, it's smaller and lighter outside. Will that mean a cramped interior? Vauxhall claims quite the opposite. Time to take a seat in the back and put that to the test. Rear passenger room was one of the plus points of the old Mark VI model, but on paper you can't imagine that would be improved by that shorter, lower shape I just mentioned and a reduction of 2 centimetres from the wheelbase length, which makes the space you get back here all the more surprising. There isn't any car in this class in which a third middle-seated adult could be really comfortable over long journeys, but if you do have to carry 5, then you'll do so more easily in this Astra than would be possible in almost any of its rivals. In its own way, the up-front experience is just as surprising. The previous forgettable rental car style cabin here replaced by a cleaner, simpler, smarter and more interesting design that some premium brands could even learn from. The centrepiece of this dash is this beautifully integrated IntelliLink infotainment screen, which incorporates the usual DAB stereo, Bluetooth phone and informational functions. Include the optional satellite navigation system, and the screen size increases from 7 to 8 inches, and you'll be better set up to use this car's other key technical innovation, the OnStar Personal Connectivity and Service Assistant. Now, this includes a vehicle tracking system in case of theft, creates in your Astra an in-car Wi-Fi hotspot, and will allow you to monitor key vehicle information via a downloadable My Vauxhall smartphone app. On start will also automatically alert the emergency services if the airbags deploy. And if you press the system's blue button on the roof here, you'll be connected through to an operator who can find, well, just about any information you might need throughout your journey, downloading any directions needed into the IntelliLink sat-nav system. And finally, let's take a look at luggage space, another area you'd think might have been compromised by this 7th generation model's slight reduction in size. Again, the contrary is true. The standard boot gets its useful ribbed floor and features a capacity that this time around has risen from 351 to 370 litres. And so, to the bottom line, which is quite simply that it's time for the market to re-evaluate the Vauxhall Astra. You might have ignored the previous model because a Focus felt better to drive, a Golf felt better built, or any one of a whole series of potential rivals offered better value. Forget that now, though. To a great extent, it's reasoning that no longer applies. The closer you look at this car, the more readily you appreciate that. It's the most efficient and technologically advanced contender in its class, as well as being one of the best equipped and the most affordable. Despite smaller dimensions, it somehow manages to be more practical than before, and smarter too. Better still, a weight loss program has also resulted in a much lighter car that's more agile and responsive to drive. Avoid the entry-level petrol engine, and it's hard to make a bad choice in the power plant department either. Best of all, this Mark 7 model Astra remains mainly British, with hatch and estate models built at Ellesmere Port near Liverpool to a quality at least as high as anything the Japanese brands can manage. That reason alone might be enough to give this car a place on your family hatchback shortlist. Fortunately for Vauxhall, there are also many others.